Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm excited to announce that I will be starting a Let's Play series for Planet Coaster. Since this is the first time I've formally met any of you by voice, I guess I should start by introducing myself first. My name is Brandon, though you guys can refer to me as Zero or Zero-G-Worx, whichever fits your liking. I'm currently a senior business marketing student at Cal Poly SLO, soon to graduate this coming spring. But on a different note, I've been a huge coaster building fan since I was in elementary school, and though I didn't pursue an engineering degree, I've always had a love for designing and making roller coasters. I actually spent a good portion of time playing other games between RCT3 and Planet Coaster, but I'm extremely happy to say that I found a game that I'll be sticking with for a long time. In regards to my YouTube channel, I've historically made only single ride production videos, which was something that I'd always planned to do, but since visiting California's Great America during my spring break, I've had this huge urge to make an actual park this time. This meant that I wouldn't be able to spend as much time making individual rides, however, it's given me the opportunity to start this Let's Play series with all of you. So my main goal for each of these episodes is to have a fairly focused time-lapse of segments that I work on each time I play. For instance, the background time-lapse for this episode is the construction of my station for the very first ride of Bay Area Blast, called Fireball. Now, I know, it's not a very creative name whatsoever, but maybe some of you can help suggest names in the comment section below. And by the way, I do actually read all my comments and reply to as many as I can. This series is going to be a little less about me talking strictly about what I'm making in the video, though I'll do my best to refer to it as frequently as I can, for the sake of relevancy. But ultimately, these videos will be more or less a summary of each time lapse, some of the issues or concerns I've encountered, or some of the interesting ideas I've come up with. But even more so, I'll be trying my best to connect with my audience, which is all of you. And I'll be taking more so at a standpoint where I can see it as a face-to-face talk, with me giving you some insight on what I'm thinking about and planning for this park. As a disclaimer, I'm not amazing at architectural design, even though I try my best to make buildings look nice. I'm not sure, but I guess I'm not a Silver Red or anyone like that. I specialize mostly in making the actual roller coasters themselves and the scenery connected to it, which is why I'm excited to start this series, because I want to actually expand my skill set into fields that I may have historically been hesitant or too shy to get into, I guess. I also think that this will be a good way for some of you to actually see how I put all my stuff together, which I think, at least in my opinion, I think it's only better for the community, since I feel as though sometimes watching videos can be a good outlet for people to actually learn from, aside from actually experimenting on their own time. Yeah, so for Fireball's station, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to go with. I know I wanted to go with a more generic style building, but I wasn't entirely sure what kind of stations are typically on Intamin Megalites, so the safe bet was just to go with a generic style building, which is more or less what I went for. Not only that, but like, if you guys have ever watched like a lot of my actual individual ride creation videos, I spend a little bit less time, or I don't spend nearly as much effort on trying to theme my rides as much as some of the other creators do. It's not so much because I don't like it, it's more or less because most of my inspiration comes from my local parks, which are California's Great America, obviously because I'm from the Bay Area, and Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. And while Discovery Kingdom does have a little bit more theming than Great America, they're both kind of generic looking parks. They're not super heavily themed. I have been to Disneyland, so I know what that looks like. I've been there a couple times actually, and I really like it there. But that being said though, because I have spent a lot more of my life at my local parks, I guess a lot of my inspiration comes from that. So most of my stuff looks very generic, but I think there is some kind of beauty in terms of generic stuff, mostly because you don't overcomplicate things sometimes, I think. And in a game like Planet Coaster, at least for me, like, you have the option to go with a more generic style, which can still be somewhat complex. Actually, as you see in the background of my video, I started doing some really funky things, like adding cables to like the wood beams that go across. I know this seems kind of like kind of interesting or kind of weird, but like, for me, I thought, okay, well, I saw at Great America that there were actually cables like kind of hanging around occasionally in certain rides, and I thought, it's kind of silly to think that I should add something like that in my ride in Planet Coaster, but I figured, well, why not, right? Like, add a little bit more detail. After all, I mean, I am gonna put this finished park in the community creations for Steam, so you guys will have a chance to actually look into the park yourself and explore every different part of it that maybe I don't show in video. So I do kind of want to add these little like hidden gems, like, oh wow, he added this to that, you know, or like all these small little details that maybe some people wouldn't consider even adding. But I'm gonna try to do that for a lot of this park, just because I don't know. At least to me, I think that makes parks a little bit more interesting, right? Like some people might say, you know, like there's only like a facade right behind everything, but maybe for me, like a facade isn't enough for me. Like I want to try to make sure that everything looks, you know, real and everything has like some actual impact to the park, even if it's not like, I don't know, maybe if it's not like a full building or something. At least I want to try to put as much detail as I can in the parts that are visible to everyone. But yeah, so aside from getting too rambly, I kind of finished up like a lot of this video with just trying to figure out how I wanted to do the queue line, which I do have a video for, or a video plan for, rather. That's going to be coming up next. So the next video will be focused mostly on designing the queue line area, which since I've already finished, I'll give you a little heads up. It looks really, really good, at least in my opinion. I mean, considering again it being more of a generic style queue line area and I guess exit too, it actually came out really, really nice, and I'm very proud of how it looks. But yeah, you guys will have to check out in the next episode what that looks like. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you guys liked this very first episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.